So I think we all played or watched someone else play Dispatch. It sold over 1 million copies in 10 days, which is pretty insane. I also really just wanted to get on here and share my opinions on Dispatch, like decisions I made, why I made them, and stuff like that. This is gonna be like a relatively short video since I don't really have much to say about the game. I really don't have that much to say about any game, but I'm just gonna get straight to the point. Oh, but overall, as a game, this patch was pretty good. I'm already a really big fan of decision-based games. I've played and beat all the Telltale's The Walking Dead, Detroit Become Human, Life is Strange, Until Dawn, and so from the jump, I already knew I was going to at least like the game a bit. So as we all know, we play as a character named Robert Robertson. So Robert's whole thing is that he's like the most well-known and popular one of the most popular superheroes in this universe, and he goes by the name Mega Man. Since Robert doesn't have any powers, he has to use a robot suit to compensate for him not having any powers. His grandfather and father were also the heroes of Mega Man, also being named Robert, but unfortunately they both died while being Mega Man. But one of the main plots of the story is that Robert's father was killed by the main villain of the game, Shroud, and the main plot is that he's trying to get revenge on Shroud. He killed his father and whatnot. So he goes to Shroud's lair, does some fighting. He runs into this dude with his Toss type superpower that allows him to show his wiener for some reason. They start fighting. Robert gets pinned down, this little contraption thing, tries to escape, and when he thinks he has escaped, he just explodes in the air. So since the suit is completely broken, he had to temporarily retire as a Mecha Man. After a while, he runs at these thieves, gets absolutely pieced up until Blonde Blazer comes to save him. They have drinks, they talk a little, you get into like Flambe, chip his tooth or whatever. She then flies you to a billboard. You do have this option to kiss her or not. I did it. You do get rejected, unfortunately, but you win some, you lose some. He asks you if you like to join SDN. You really don't have a choice. You say yes. You play the tutorial. You go to the SDN main office thing, Majig, and she introduces you to the Z team. Now, this is where I feel like the game got, I guess, the main attention from, or people started to, really like the game. Like the characters are like basically the Z team is like a group of villains that are trying to become heroes. These people include Invisigal, Golem, Sonar, Punch Up, Level Up, Coop, Flambe, but not Flambe, and Flambe. You can choose between Phenomenon or Waterboy as an add-on later, depending on who you picked. I personally picked the Waterboy. I just thought he was really cool. Like I feel like the obvious option was to pick Phenomenon, but I just went with Waterboy. I just thought he had something in him, my favorite two characters out of the whole group though were definitely Golem and Prism. I feel like they did a really good job with making these characters like diverse and not making them too bland. A lot of that, I feel like they're really funny. Pretty well-known voice actors like Young Gravy as Golem, Moist Critical as Sonar, and Jacksepticeye as Punch Up. I personally feel like they did a good job of making these characters funny, not too bland. While some of them have questionable personalities, most of them are cool, I feel like. The next thing I really wanted to talk about, decisions. Yeah, decisions. Like the decisions in this game aren't really that impactful. Well, they're not really impactful in most decision-based games. Not like some of them are more impactful than others, but you get like decisions that like some people remember and how it affects your journey as a game. Decisions that how your team is built, like who to cut or who to add on, and stuff like that. Like cutting Coop or Sonar. I personally cut Coop in my opinion. Just to let y'all know. Now, one of the decisions a lot of people were debating about was picking Invisigal or Blonde Blazer to romance. Now, personally, I picked Blonde Blazer. Before y'all get on me, I was not the biggest fan of Invisigal. If I were to play the game without knowing her age, I don't think she's around 6 or 7, 10 years old, and she acts she acts and talks like a teenager. Like I'm 16, right? And I like when I go to school, she acts like literally one of my friends. So I'm like often like if I was just to guess her age, I don't think she's around my age. But come to find out, she is 27 years old. Yeah, 27. I just feel like at that big of an age, pushing 30, you should not be acting like that. But hey, that's just me. But overall, most people did pick her. So I feel like the dude with that one dream, you know. I'm moving along from that. The plot of the story was pretty good. As Robert was an SDN, I started to like get just more and more, and overall I had a stronger connection with them. And felt like they're actually pretty cool. I actually like the character designs were underrated in a way, but aside from that, playing the actual dispatch missions were extremely fun, like customizing your stats and sending people on other missions. I feel like a lot of people they say they didn't like that, but actually really enjoyed that part. I feel like they should add like a game mode to where it's just a dispatch, like a temporary like a little game mode where you have a whole bunch of dialogue and a whole bunch of stuff. And also to mention the dialogue. The dialogue was pretty peak in this game. The dialogue was funny to me, and there's some minute dialogues for stuff I wouldn't expect them to have dialogue for, which is pretty crazy to me. I like the story, the gameplay, the characters. So what do I not like about the game? One of them is I feel like the game is too short. Although they did have 8 episodes, they're relatively short, unlike season-based games like The Walking Dead or Life is Strange that usually are around 5. But those games were like much longer. I think I spent maybe around 3 on Steam. It's that's like 3.4 hours. But you gotta think the loading and just me logging into the game and me just staring at the screen for no reason. So it was most likely not. It wasn't really that long. Actually, it might have been a little longer than 3.5. I think it was more like 6 hours at the end. But and I feel like that game, if it was a little longer, it would be much more peak and stuff like that. It's just a little bit longer. I feel like it would have been better. And another thing I have with the filming, female characters are not written the best. Like for example, in Visigal and Blom, like in Blazer, it's like they're only there to romance Robert instead of like actually adding on something to the game. Especially in Visigal. Like it's like the game is trying to force you to romance Visigal. But I personally had a hard time liking Visigal for like multiple reasons. You know, how immature she is and a whole bunch of other stuff. But I'm not gonna get into that. Outside of that, I felt like the ending was pretty predictable, which is not entirely their fault. It's just the way they built it up. I knew you were either gonna spare Shroud or kill him, especially after what happened to Chase in that one scene. But it does change depending on how you treat Invisigirl. Like if you choose not to cut her, I think. Well, I chose to cut her, but if you choose not to cut her, you have the most likely have the choice of sparing or killing Shroud. But in my playthrough, I chose to choose to cut her. So she just killed Shroud, which really wasn't a big deal for me. I was gonna kill him anyway, even if I wasn't given the option to. And at the end, she either becomes accepts heroism or become a villain. In mine, obviously, she accepts becoming a villain. I did not treat her like the best, but I mean, I just really didn't care for her. At the end, I did hear some valid opinions on why not to cut her. Like it kind of had me like contemplating like my decision. Like some like opinions is like the whole point of the Z team is to make villains turn into heroes. Obviously, they're not gonna be perfect from the jump. They're still gonna be doing villainy stuff and whatnot. But I just like didn't really care. My like dislikement for Invisible. I was like blinded with my excitement for Invisible. Like I just didn't care what happened to her because I just really didn't like her. And so yeah, I feel like the game was actually really good in my opinion. They could have done like some stuff better, but I'm not really a video game designer and stuff. I mean, it's not my strong suit. I don't really know what they could have done better, but like some stuff they were lacking in, like the world building. I mean, you really wouldn't think about world building too much in the game, but it just stuff seems too familiar. Like I've seen this mainly in the office and whatnot. I mean, you are working an office job, so I'm not really that deep into that. some of the characters, like the female characters, should have been a little better. Obviously, all the stuff I said, and overall, though, that game was really good in my opinion. I would have either rate like an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I really do like this game, and I really do hope to see a season 2. If that happens, I will be very happy. And if like I'm out there enough, I will be uploading a video about this, or actually I stream the game a little and stuff. I do recommend this game, although I did spoil the entire game for y'all, which I'm sorry for. But you can make different decisions. So that's the beauty of these games. And this game was really good. I enjoyed like waiting every week for new episode to drop, and overall really fun. I would like I said, I would hope to see season 2, and yeah, that's really it. Let me know what y'all want to like. What other videos I want to see. Like I feel like uploading like more Overwatch and stuff. Like, cause like I got back into Overwatch like recently. I got like more back into it. So let me know what you're gonna say. I really do anything. Like y'all may do stuff like this, or like play story games, or whatever. But this is my second video, which I'm pretty proud to announce. I'm turning to like upload more consistently. If I'm really dialed in, I will get 1 to 2 uploads a week. But I said if I'm really dialed in, because I have to do with school and stuff. So hopefully I will be able to do that. But as of right now, if this video does good, then it'll motivate me more. I'm still gonna be motivated to make videos no matter how this video does. But and I just really, if y'all really sat through this whole video, I really appreciate y'all so much. I don't know how much this means to me, and I will be seeing y'all in the next one.